What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. And we're going back to the 1993 Unplugged album for the song Come Undone. When I went into the Duran deep dive now, like 7, 8 months ago, something like that, it's one of the handful of tunes I actually did know. I mentioned before, I was a single-digit kid in the 80s, so some of their early stuff, like from the Rio album in particular, although also Seven and the Ragged Tiger, as it turns out. A number of those tunes I remember hearing, I remember enjoying them on the radio, even if I didn't actually have the albums myself. And then again, when I was a young teenager in the early 90s, I remember hearing a couple of the tunes from Wedding Album, the two big hits, Ordinary World and Come Undone, and being very impressed and like, oh damn, I remember Duran Duran. It's cool that they're still around and making really good music. Now again, for a number of reasons, me getting into punk rock and techno and so on, I just didn't end up following them beyond that. But in the last several months, I've rectified that, become a huge fan of their work. And it remains true that despite all the different journeys I've gone on and loving so many of the tunes on the different albums, different eras, different flavors, subgenres, Come Undone remains one of my favorite tunes from them. I just really love it. I love this sort of underwater sound, which obviously fits with the video if you've seen the video. I like the female sort of supporting or backing vocal, which I know is different on the studio album than in some of the live performances. But I just love the composition of the tune. And the idea of coming undone, sort of slipping apart at the seams because of, sort of the pressures and the stresses and so on. When I first heard that tune, I think intuitively kind of felt what it was about. Again, as I've come to understand in more recent times, Duran's lyrics are very poetic and they can be very sort of visual or chromatic, but they don't necessarily take you dot by dot through all the exact meaning, which I do enjoy. I like that sort of opaque kind of writing style. So in any case, it's a top tune is what I'm saying. I'm intrigued to hear the instrumental, or not instrumental, acoustic arrangement, because again, the acoustic arrangement of Ordinary World, I listened to not the version from Unplugged, but my understanding is the acoustic version I listened to is essentially the same arrangement that we'll hear here on Unplugged. That moved me deeply. By the end of the song, I was very emotional. So obviously Come Undone is a different sort of tune, but I'm very much looking forward to hearing the arrangement, so let's get it. This is Come Undone, done in an unplugged or acoustic format in a performance in New York, New York, on the MTV Unplugged. And again, I think it was just a broadcast. It wasn't actually a physical audio release.
Immaculate dream, made breath and skin. I've been waiting for your sign with the home tattoo. Happy birthday
Is there an oboe in there too?
What's created for? Take a little time, might take a little cry to come undone. Now we'll try to stay blind.
Here's that bass.
To the hope and be outside. Hey child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me. Words play me deja vu, like a radio tune. I swear I've heard more chills. Is it something real, or the magic I'm feeling off your fingers?
This voice is a little more operatic. It's a little more like, it feels like theatrical a little bit.
In a snow-filled sky,
Which is not bad, it's just different.
To come undone, we'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear inside. Hey child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me into Who do you need? Who do you love? When you come undone, who do you need? Who do you love? When you come undone, who do you need? Who do you love? When you come undone.
Come on, man.
Who do you need? Who do you love? Who do you love? When you come undone.
Oh. Hold on now.
This is Lambia.
So that's the female singer? Whoa. And that sort of guttural, like visceral delivery, and like the phrase becomes something else. Yo. Stunning.
Thank you.
Holy shit. I mean, is there another appropriate response? Because if there is, I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, so she takes the cake, she takes the show, she steals everything. Don't get me wrong, there were some moments from Simon before that where that was brilliant. I was like really enjoying him kind of extending as it moved just before that, like, kind of jamming section near the end, which again, it's another time where they do that, although this one, like, again, it was like, boom, let's shift the spotlight over. So that was just fantastic. And I mean, her vocals at the end, that's like ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. Like going top, basically doing the things that the female vocals do on the original track, but then going with that jam sort of session and just, bringing it to another level vocally. I can't even believe what I'm just heard. I'm sort of babbling at this point. So yeah, I'll end it here, but please do let me know what you think of this one. Big shout out to all the people who mentioned that this was a good performance. You were not wrong, but even like 4 minutes into the track, I didn't realize how not wrong you were. So yeah, just really top performance. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time.
Peace.